And it's adios to Linton Bay. How shall I summarize it? Rolling anchorage, good food, and port captain. So yes, not one of our most favorite places, but it does the job. We are happy to be leaving today. We've got 35 miles passage ahead of us. The wind is okay. We are now, I think, coming towards the end of the trade winds where they reach. So we need to get used to some light wind sailing again. And it should be about 6 to 7 hour passage. We will attempt to anchor in Rio Chagres to get some rest before we heading for overnight to Escudo de Veragua, beautiful Caribbean island.
Yeah, I think I share the first mate's opinion of Linton Bay. It's okay as a place, it gets the job done, and there's some friendly people ashore. So yeah, not too bad, but I won't miss the anchorage. So yeah, a medium-sized hop today. We should have a little bit of wind, at least for the start of the passage. So we're going to get the sails out in a minute and make the most of it. That'll do for now. Just got to make it out past these rocks. We can turn the engine off and get the jib out.
Here we go. I'm all set. Genoa is flying. I'm on the sails watch today, and I'm comfortable on the princess seat for the next 6 hours. With the exception of a lunch break, of course, that I'll have to make.
Strong sense of duty in the first mate this morning. I can sense it's going to be a wonderful passage. He's on it. Lunch and sails together at last. Wind is a bit stronger than I expected from sitting at the anchorage back there. I can see why it was so rolly now.
We are hoping that we are running away from the beginning of the rainy season. It's starting. Every other day we're starting to see some clouds on the horizons, and they're getting darker and darker and bigger. So we haven't seen any lightning and any thunder yet, but I think it's only a matter of time. We've got probably around 250 miles before we reach Bocas del Toro, so it will be amazing if we can get majority of this sailing done before the lightning starts. So remember last season we lost the computer in the electrical storm, and we don't really want that to happen again.
Well, so much for this first mate on constant watch for the sail trimming, huh? That lasted 5 minutes. Don't worry, Captain's got this.
Busy, aren't I? I was contemplating about life. Takes a lot of time to think about that, you know. Don't want to rush that.
It's the first mate's favourite hobby. Part of his busy daily schedule.
Thinking.
Well, the squalls came in and the first mate's contemplation of life came to a sudden halt as he searches for the dry spot, the only dry spot in the cockpit.
The heavens have opened. ever since I started to think about our future. I think there's a sign somewhere.
Storm clouds are gathering. He's sorting his tea leaves this morning.
I really want a full enclosure. Zip on, zip off. More work. Can't live like this, can I? We've got a nail-biting situation unfolding right here. We are just passing the Panama Canal and there is a massive container ship going our direction. They are only 2 miles away and they are due to pass behind us about half a mile. So captain is a bit nervous. We may need to call them to let them know that we are here. Hopefully they see us on AIS and hopefully we're not slowing down any further.
Yeah, I've been watching this situation unfold for the last 45 minutes on the AIS. That's how quickly dramas happen on Bohemia. I think we're going to be good. I've been watching it really closely and I was a little bit nervous because as soon as they were getting out of the shipping lane and the breakwater for the Panama Canal, I was worried that they might accelerate, but actually that hasn't happened. So hopefully, if nothing changes, they should pass 0.8 miles on our stern. We're just about to cross in front of them now.
In theory, we are not in any shipping lanes, so we should have right away because we are a sailing vessel, but we are so tiny compared to them. So I'm ready to tack, jibe, heave to, you name it. Abandon the ship.
Watching it closely back here, I don't think there'll be any cause to abandon anything.
I think we're gonna make it. I can see that he's heading right here, so this will be the impact zone and he's still some time away.
All good. The first mate can go back to contemplating life again, rather than contemplating death. All good. They're passing just under a mile behind us. It's a little bit scary to see them up close going 12 knots with all the waves crashing off their bow. But no cause for drama. There's enough room and nobody needed to call anyone on the radio.
It is such a wonderful day for sailing. The wind is consistent at about 40 knots. We are going at about 6.5 knots all the time. That we made an executive decision. We are continuing, we are skipping the Rio Chagres and we are continuing all the way to Escudo de Veraguas. So from 35 nautical miles passage, we now have 110 nautical mile passage. It's gonna be an overnighter. I haven't prepared anything in the galley, nothing is ready, we have nothing to eat. But the sea conditions are just great. The wind is blowing consistently and it just will be too good to miss because for the rest of the week the winds are extremely light. So yeah, I think it's the best decision. We're gonna try and do it overnight and hopefully we can get at least another 60 miles under sail before the wind totally dies for the night. Captain is resting. And I'm gonna be going down to the galley to figure out what we're gonna be eating for the next 22 hours.
Are we there yet?
Captain fell asleep at the helm and missed the Chagres. That's what really happened. It's just too good, these conditions. We can't waste them. Don't want to be burning diesel tomorrow or the day after. Hopefully we'll have all of this wind 3/4 of the way to Escudo. So that's worth its weight in gold.
Just when I'm making dinner, the boat has decided to be healing at its most. So it's not gonna get any better, just a homemade guacamole, bread, some refried beans and some fried eggs as well. God, it's healing. Not the best conditions for cooking, but hey, it is what it is. At least we are sailing and not motoring.
Wind always starts howling just before sunset for some reason. It looks like it's going to be a really lovely sunset just ahead of us. So, making the most of the gust that we've got. Captain trimmed the sails in, of course, did the responsible thing. And all he got was complaints from down below. Apparently some food fell off the plate or something. Can't win these days. We're going really well, averaging between 6 and 7 knots at the moment, which is fantastic, and about 75 miles to go, which puts us arriving right in the middle of the night. But luckily we've been to Escudo before and we can follow our tracks and drop the hook in the dark if needs be. Ooh, speak of the devil down below.
Seriously, the condition on this boat.
Dinner for 2 on the low side tonight, I think. Looks good.
I'm going into a food coma. The captain has promised he will do many hours on the night shift, so thank God for that.
Remember this picture? It's the last you'll see of the first mate for a few hours. Probably until dawn, I imagine. Just in case you forget what he looks like. I sometimes do.
It's not my fault, I'm just a very sleepy person. Sailing makes me sleepy. Can't help it.
You see, his mistake was he's been contemplating too hard earlier. All those life issues and problems. All those existential questions he was thinking about. He just contemplated too hard. It's not his fault. Well, it looks like the thunderstorms are starting. I was really hoping we were going to avoid those on this leg of the sail because we're a little bit early in the season for it. But no such luck. One has just appeared in front of us. It's about a mile out according to the radar, and I can just see quite a lot of lightning on the horizon. So it looks like we're probably going to just go through that one. We'll take some precautions and put an emergency phone and backup navigation device in the microwave. And hopefully it's going to have broken up or mostly dissipated by the time we reach it. From my little experience last year with dodging these squalls, it doesn't really pay to alter course too much or try to steer around them because they move around faster than we do. And they appear in a moment's notice right in front of you. So we're going to carry on, hold our course and hope for the best. Night watch checking in again. Looks like we got lucky. The big sail ahead of us broke into 2 and has just about fizzed out about half a mile in front of our bow. So I zipped in all the covers and closed all the hatches to no avail. But at least we're going to be ready for the next one, which is just creeping up behind us. The bigger problem seems to be that the wind is dying, so I think the captain's going to have to admit defeat and start motor sailing, at least for the next few miles. But pretty good overall. We've made 90 miles today under nothing but sail power, and we have another 35 miles ahead of us, which we're likely going to have to do with motor sailing. There really just isn't much wind in this part of the coast in my experience, so we're lucky to have got what we did. And down to the first mate for choosing the window and leaping rather than stopping in the Chagres. All credit to the first mate and his weather forecasting abilities. Nostradamus deserves his rest down below.
With 300 unspoiled islands, flat seas and dependable trade winds, Panama's San Blas Islands are a true paradise and the ideal tropical sailing destination. Now you can join us here for a week on board Bohemia as we show you the best cruising that the Caribbean has to offer. Learn the ropes of sailing, catch a fish for dinner, or take in the sunset while the first mate mixes the drinks. You decide. Check out our website for information, dates and availability late 2023 going into 2024. See you in paradise!
We can't have our wine costing more than our diesel.
Most of the time, the diesel tastes better.
Special thanks in this episode go to all of our patrons for fueling the captain's new cheap second mate fund.
Champagne for everyone.
Thank you so much, and here's to you! If you've been enjoying our episodes and want to fuel the first mate's bad behaviour in the Caribbean, then follow the link on screen to find out more. See you next time!